Hello friends. I've been staying up late at night thinking about all the important issues like how to solve world hunger and how to solve the climate crisis issue when I suddenly received a message on my phone and I saw my power bill. And I was like, stuff the climate, I just want a cheaper power bill. This is where I went on a long and difficult journey to find the cheapest power company available. Now there's a lot of hardships along the way, but I think I have finally got some results. And I'm here to share all those results with you. I know there's a couple of different websites that help you compare deals from different power companies. So there's this one called powercompare.co.nz. And there's also this one called powerswitch.org.nz. So obviously, knowing absolutely nothing about all these power comparing websites, I just went for the one that says .org.nz. Just because it's an organization. I don't know if that makes it significantly better, but that's the one that I went with. So you can go to their website, scroll down and search for your address. So here I could type in my address. So after entering your address, you can specify the number of people that actually live in your home. So let's say I have 3 to 5 people in the home, and then there's no one at home during the day. And I can go next step. And then the website would ask, what do you use to heat your home? Let's say a heat pump. And I don't use an air conditioner in summer. You use any of these to heat your water. Let's say I use your standard electric water cylinder. And then it'll ask you, what kind of insulation do you have? You can say that you have wall, ceiling insulation, and then you go finish. The website would then show you a whole list of companies and estimate a yearly cost that it will cost you if you sign up with one of these companies. And it will list them in pretty much a ascending order from the lowest or the cheapest to the highest price. Then I would uncheck the bundle required option, since I personally don't really like having my power bundle together with like my internet or maybe my mobile phone plan. But that could be something that you would prefer, but that's just not for me personally. And then I will hit apply. So here's where you get to the nitty-gritty details, and you have to look through all the terms and conditions of all of these different power companies to see which plans that suit you the best. Now, for a lot of the power company plans these days, there's usually different prices for peak and off-peak. Now, in order to get one of these newer plans, you're actually required to have a smart meter. Now, personally, I live in a slightly older home myself, and I have not had access to a smart meter for ages. So if you don't have access to a smart meter, you can't actually use these newer plans. Now, what I had not accounted for was how complicated some of these power company plans are. So you have peak hours, you have off-peak hours, you have middle peak hours, which is between the peak hours and the off-peak hours. And then you have nighttime hours where basically you can charge like your electric cars overnight or something like that. And then some companies offer free power hours for a certain number of hours. And then some companies offer free power weekends or free power weeks. It's just incredibly overwhelming for someone to go through. So this is why I went through a lot of the companies and broadly separated them into 3 different categories to help you choose one that suits your needs the most. So the first category of power companies is what I call the do whatever you want, whenever you want category. So for these power companies, you have a set charge for each day, and then you get a set charge for the amount of kilowatt hours of power that you actually use. And it's the same charge any time of the day. So it doesn't matter if you use power in the morning, doesn't matter if you use power in the evening, use power at night, use power when you're sleeping, use power when you're not there, it's always the same charge. Now this is probably good for people that have someone that's in the household, maybe like a family, or if you have little kids, and you need to use some sort of power pretty much all the time during the day. An example of this kind of power company is Frank Energy. So they have a daily charge, they have an all-inclusive charge for using their power, and it's the same for 24 hours a day, every day. And this is just the easiest, by far the easiest type of plan that you can go on. The next category I will call just dogpile on the free power period companies. These companies have a certain period of time where you can use the power for free. And then the rest of the day, it gets charged at a specific rate. Now, usually the charges for the period of time where it's not the free time is usually a little bit higher compared to the companies that charge a flat rate for all 24 hours. But of course, the benefit is you get a certain number of free hours. Now, one of the main examples for this is Contact Energy with their Good Night plan, which basically means that you get free power from 9 p.m. to midnight. So 3 hours of free power per day. In exchange for that, they have a higher daily charge fee and a higher charge compared to some of the other companies when it's not their free power period. If you are very good at basically doing all the heavy power intensive things within those specific 3 hour period of time, you can actually end up saving quite a bit of money. The third category of company plans is what I would call the absolute gigabrain Chad type of electric company plans. Now, these are the electric plans that have like a peak rate, an off-peak rate, a shoulder off-peak rate, night rate, and maybe in combination some sort of free power hours. So an example of this that I could find is with Electric Kiwi. So one of the plans that they have, you pay for a different price during peak hours, which is 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. And there's a different price for off-peak shoulder, which is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. and then off-peak at night, which is basically where most people are sleeping, from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. And they also include one free power hours as long as it's not during the peak hours. So as you can see, there's tons of big brain things that you could do. So if you are able to do most of your things during your off-peak time and your off-peak night time, like charging your electric vehicles or heating water cylinder or something like that, you could really end up saving a lot of money if you are able to big brain all of your electric use. But personally, I gotta be honest, I am not that big brained when it comes to just using electricity. And the thing is, the charges for their peak hours for Electric Kiwi, for example, is twice the amount of the off-peak at nighttime. So during peak hours, when everyone's actually wanting to use electricity, you get charged significantly more, which kind of makes using this plan a little bit pointless because you get charged more when you need to use power the most. So there's not any real benefits that I could see with using this particular plan. Personally, I really think it's worth checking for new power company deals every 6 months to a year or so, as long as you're not locked into a plan, to make sure that you're getting the best deals